We are once again moving further on our US trip, and tomorrow we are going to start the third week of this crazy vacation. As you can see, I'm standing here in our beach resort we have been living in for the past couple of nights in Crystal River. But tomorrow we are going to move further on, and our next stop is in Naples, Florida. But besides it being a travel day tomorrow, I'm going to start the day by doing a 25-kilometer long run with a progressive effort, which is going to be quite exciting in this Florida heat. It's our last morning here in Crystal River, and as you can see, we've just packed the car and is about to move further on to our next stop, which is in Naples. And as I mentioned yesterday evening, I was out doing a 25-kilometer progressive long run this morning, and it went very well. I did 25 kilometers in 1 hour and 47 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 17 seconds per kilometer. And I'm really satisfied about that pace, especially in this pretty extensive Florida heat. So now we will just drive for about 10 minutes over to our breakfast spot before we head down to Naples. We've just made it inside this restaurant called Breakfast Station, and the omelette I've just gotten is looking really good. And I must say that Frede's scrambled egg is also looking very delicious. We've just made it out from the breakfast station, and right from entering the restaurant, I quickly noticed that it seemed like there was a lot of locals eating in there, and the food also tasted really good. So a very good experience and a very American breakfast. So now the plan is that we're walking back to the car, and then we have about a 4-hour drive to our next stop in Naples. Four hours later, we made it to our new hotel. So now it's about getting inside and unpacking our stuff. Luggage unpacked, and now I've been installed here at the pool until we decide where we are going to eat later on. We've just left the hotel to find a place to eat dinner, and I've heard rumors that we are walking towards a Chipotle, which makes me really happy. Burrito acquired, and in my opinion, Chipotle is without a doubt the best fast food place. Delicious Chipotle have been consumed, and now me and Frede is just strolling back to the hotel, and I don't have any other plans for today other than just to chill, because tomorrow is going to be very exciting because we are going to drive out to something called Everglades and hopefully holding a baby alligator. It's our first morning here in Naples, and we've just found ourselves out to the pool where the breakfast buffet is. So I'm having a bit of oatmeal before we head out to the swamp in Everglades. Despite there being quite a more limited amount of choices compared to the other breakfast buffets we have tried at this vacation, in my opinion, that was without a doubt the most coziest buffet we have tried so far. We made it out here to Everglades, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of adventures this swamp will bring us. We made it to Captain Jack's snack shack, and in a few moments we are going to hop on an airboat and drive through the swamp, which is really going to be crazy, I think. And because there isn't enough space for 11 people on 2 boats, we're going to split up in the adults and the kids. So me and 3 boys and Amalie got our own boat. Du er alt for varm med de briller på.
Tak.
We just came off the airboat, and that was without a doubt one of the most fun experiences we've had so far. It was so crazy, and on top of that we also got to see a couple of alligators, which was really crazy. And on top of that, I would like to shout out Ivan, who is a very, very good captain. So now we are moving further on here in Captain Jack's experience, and our next stop is going on a swamp buggy.
I'll move just a little bit here. We don't want him to go down on us. Lundne og ser rimelig træt ud allerede, og så siger han ikke ting på de 100.
Hey guys, close that gate behind you.
Good step, guys.
Alligators. cheeky up front with the windows would have been the cooking hut. They would have built the fire on the ground. And the
Skal jeg prøve at få noget af det der vand med? Fuck, de er syge, mand. Skal vi den?
Everglades totally lived up to my expectations. I have had so much fun today. As you just saw, we got to hold a baby alligator after an alligator show. And for the last part of today, we also walked through a zoo behind this guest center where they had rescued some alligators and were helping them to recover from whatever injuries they have had. So it was quite exciting seeing them up close. And on top of that, the buggy ride that we were on before that was totally the underdog of today. I had so much fun and it was very interesting going through the environment out there. It felt like being out in the jungle. So a very big thumbs up to the Captain Jacks out here in Everglades. It's very fun to experience. And now we are going back in the minibus with the family, and I think we will drive it back to Naples to find a place to eat lunch. Panda Express acquired, and it's looking really delicious.
Er der en kaffe i nogle af vores poser? Jeg har tømt alt på. Nej, mutter fik det lidt sådan. Shut your mouth. Godt.
otra vez vas a adaptar lo otro y cuando hasta que te sepas el completo de eso, por eso tienes que repetir contenido. La repetición. Acuérdate, esto.
Frede has just been freshened up at the barber, and with some delicious Panda Express in our stomach, me and Frede is now walking back from the mall to our hotel. We made it back, now it's just time to join the pool party. Venlig!
Du har jo gjort det. 3, 2, 1, nu!
After a lot of very fun hours at the pool, me and Dad, we went out for food for the entire family, just as we did in New York. And we are on the way to something called Jimmy John's to find some hopefully very delicious sandwiches. Sandwiches acquired. Now it's just about getting back to the hotel so the rest of the family can get something to eat.
Så er der en Cæsar med kylling. De er skåret i halve, så man... Jo, det kan godt være de der fedtede nogen. Prøv lige at læne hovedet.
Another day finished here on our US trip, and what kind of amazing experiences we've had on our first day here in Naples and out in Everglades. It has been so much fun in my opinion. But now I'm headed straight to bed because tomorrow morning I'm headed out for a run where I will include 10 times 1.2 kilometer intervals, and I'm quite excited to see where my current fitness level is at the moment. On top of that, after the run, the whole entire day is focused around Frede because he is actually turning 19 years old tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to celebrating him the entire day tomorrow. I dag er det Frederiks fødselsdag. Hurra, hurra, hurra. Han sikrer sig en gave, for som han har ønsket sig i år. Det er ligegyldigt. Ja, det er lige meget med på. Tillykke med fødselsdagen!
Ej, hvor sygt.
Det er også fedt nok med underbukser. Ja, gør det.
Before continuing the celebration of Frede's birthday, I would just like to take a few minutes to talk about the run that I did this morning. And unfortunately, I did receive quite a punch to the stomach this morning. In the last week, I have really built up quite a big amount of confidence because I've felt that my running has been going so well. As I mentioned in New York, I took the paces back just a little bit, like 5 seconds per kilometer in all my paces, just to give myself a chance, especially because I really set some ambitious goals after I did so well at the Aarhus Half Marathon. But I also know myself and that I get extremely affected by how my running is going because my confidence and everything like that is so bound up to how I perform in my training. And I know that is maybe not the best way to train, but that is just how I feel because I am so invested in the way that I run. And it's not that I made an absolute disaster this morning. I actually averaged a pace of 3 minutes and 26 seconds per kilometer over the span of all the 12 kilometers, and my goal was around 320 to 325, so I missed by 1 second. My biggest problem about this morning run was that I started my intervals in 323 and 321 and things like that, and I ended in 331 and 330. So it's not that I completely ruined the training. I just think that the execution was totally off, and I really put a lot of emphasis on trying to make the intervals that I do extremely disciplined and try to run my best intervals at the end of the session, and I didn't do that this morning, and it really affects me. So I have made the choice that I will keep the paces that I was talking about in New York and not try to overextend myself too much, which I did this morning because I had received so much self-confidence from the last week's training. But I can see that when I get too brave in my training, I just ruin it, and I think that is not a disciplined way of training. So I've made the choice to now dial it back and not try to overextend as I did this morning. Besides that, the overall run, I did 20 kilometers in 1 hour and 28 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 24 seconds per kilometer. So again, not that I completely ruined this training, I just wasn't executing it as well as I did, which affects my mood and feelings way too much because I have maybe not matured enough to handle these kind of failures in training. And I know that it probably isn't a failure because I've just learned a lot from it, but I can still feel that it affects me way too much in terms of how I want it to affect me. But now that I've gotten that off my chest, we can now continue the celebration of Frede, and I'm very glad that I've gotten this out the way because now we are just going to celebrate my brother all day. We've just made a short drive from our hotel down to this amazing looking beach. So now the plan is that we will spend the first part of Frede's birthday just chilling and having fun here at the beach. The camp has been set up, most of us in the shade, and now it's just about getting in the water.
Nej, det vil ikke. Jeg vil frygte for livet. Jeg vil aldrig hoppe i vand.
After a couple of very hot hours here at the beach, we are now returning to the hotel to wash the salt water off before we head out to find some lunch to Frede. He's looking so good in the fresh Jordans. When me and Frede was at the barber yesterday, when Frede he got his fresh fade, Frede he also saw a pizzeria right across from the barber that he wanted to visit on his birthday. So guess where we are at for lunch? Frede he ordered these very delicious looking cheese sticks. Is the cheese pull approved, Frede?
Yes, very much.
The main course has arrived and Frede's pepperoni pizza is looking very delicious.
Jeg siger 460.
Hurra, hurra, hurra. Han sikrer sig en gave for, som han har ønsket sig i år, med dejlig chokolade og kager til. Og når han hjem fra ferie går, hurra, 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 så skal han hjem og holde fest.
Sammen?
Nej, det var ikke lige det.
Hvor er du sød, Simon? Det kan vi godt. Den er god.
Ja, det er den.
Tusind tak for alle gaverne, altså. Det er jeg meget glad for. Det har været en rigtig god fødselsdag.
Happy birthday, Frede.
Thank you. Vi har brugt 8 kroner.
Hvad?
Ja.
Det er fordi...
Fuck, du er heldig. Du er et heldig.
Nej, hvor sygt.
Jeg fatter det ikke.
Ja, det er derfor jeg også.
Det vi skulle købe for 700 kroner.
Det har jeg lige fået for 8 kroner.
Hvordan?
Ved at spænde den ind.
Det er ordentligt fedt. It's our last morning here in Naples, and what a crazy adventure it has been. But before we move on to our next destination, me, Mom and Dad, Frede and my Uncle Michael is going for a short run this morning. Come on. Come on.
You were burning like a summer in my heart till you found another northern star, following a lover right out of my ocean. And I was broken, but you know what they say, time's got a good way of healing. I'm back on my feet and I'm happier than
5 kilometers done in 29 minutes at a pace of 5 minutes and 50 seconds per kilometer. Great job. With our great morning run in the legs, we are now ready to make a drive to our next destination in Key Largo. After a 3.5 hour drive from Naples, we made it here to Key Largo. And as you just saw, we stopped here at the Fish Company restaurant, which we were just recommended at the key office at the hotel. And because our keys is not ready before 5 o'clock this afternoon, we headed over to get hopefully a very delicious lunch here at the restaurant, and then we can get our room afterwards.
Holy shit!
Ja, og den der skulle større.
Ej, hvor er de gigantiske.
Nej, det bliver større og større.
Hvad er det for noget?
Lige så store. Ser fisk ser.
Nej, hvor er de vilde.
Today's catch is wahoo fish, and this just looks absolutely incredible. But I must say that everyone's choices here at the Fish Company restaurant looks very, very good. And on top of that, we also have the most amazing view while we are eating. We've just arrived at our hotel here in Key Largo, and this is the most insane hotel that we have visited so far, without any doubt. This is much more like an apartment than it is a hotel, so let me show you. At the moment, the family is gathered together at my parents' room, and this is just such a luxurious apartment that we have received. Just look at it. We've quickly left the party because I wanted to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. And the entire family is headed out to snorkel at some coral reefs, which I'm really looking forward to experience. But before that, I will head out in the morning and do my usual running training. And tomorrow's run is going to include 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 kilometer intervals. So for the rest of the day, we don't have any other plans than just to chill at the pool and have a lot of hygge. It's our first morning here in Key Largo, and in a few moments, me and the family is going to drive out to the place where we're going to snorkel at the coral reef. So that is very exciting. But before that, I would like to talk a little bit about the run that I just did this morning. And as I mentioned yesterday evening, I wanted to head out and do 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 kilometer intervals, and it went very well. In the overall pace of all the 15 kilometers, I did in 3 minutes and 37 seconds per kilometer pace, which I'm very satisfied about. The only thing is that I went way too hard this workout, so I hopefully can pace myself a little bit better next time. I just really wanted a success story after the run that I did Tuesday morning. So a big thumbs up from me. Besides that, the overall run I did 24 kilometers in 1 hour and 40 minutes at an average pace of 4 minutes and 10 seconds per kilometer. So with this hard effort run out of the way, I think that we are just headed out to see the coral reef. We made it out here and we thought that we was going on at the boat at 10 o'clock, but apparently it's at 12 o'clock instead. So now we have a couple of hours to kill, and the first thing that we went on was to explore this trail right beside the visitor center.
Og nu kom der hegn på. Var det det? Løb lige, mand. Kan ham da ikke lige gå herind?
We just found a really cozy place to get a quick bite before we jump on the boat.
Okay, so basically when it's time to exhale, go on vertically and on top forward.
We've just returned from the boat ride and the swim at the coral reef, and the only thing that I can say is just wow. It was an amazing experience, and it was my first time swimming at a coral reef, and it was just crazy fun to experience all the colorful fish and all the different plants. After returning from the swimming at the coral reef back to the hotel, I immediately did my regular strength training, because then afterwards I headed over to my parents' room and joined the entire family at a bit of partying, where Sims, he also freshened my hair up a bit, as you probably can see. And now me and my parents, we are walking over to the pool here at the hotel, because we're hoping for an opened food truck that can deliver us an easy dinner today. Unfortunately, this food truck does not look very open. So our emergency plan when we found out that the food truck was closed was that we walked for about a mile, and now we got over to this Italian food company restaurant, which is hopefully serving some delicious Italian food. We've made it inside here, and my mushroom and truffle pizza is looking mighty fine. Another very hyggelig and delicious dinner with the family, and I couldn't imagine a better way to end off this third week of our crazy US trip. I really hope that you enjoy following us through our adventure and that you want to turn up for the next week. Besides that, the only thing that I have left to do is just that I want to wish you a great rest of the day. Take care.